Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Every week, you can have the conversations you've always wanted to have about the films you love.
Shut up!
We're gonna get you. Not another peep.
Get rid of your distractions and prepare yourself.
Won't then lock your door. 5, 6, gonna crucifix.
You got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere.
Welcome everybody to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Danny Bonin here with you.
Scotty Bonin with you guys.
We are the Blood Brothers. And
Carmelo Chimera.
And the first thing you may have noticed, I didn't even tell you guys this, is I changed the laugh in our intro. Because for all 300 videos we've ever posted of our podcast, is always restricted in Russia because it picks out the Thriller laugh from Michael Jackson. What? Nothing else in our intro. Not the blatant Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, or The Shining vocal, clips, but just Vincent Price's laugh from Thriller gets us caught on copyright all the time. So, I have now changed the laugh to a more deeper, evil, unrecognizable laugh.
Oh man, I like Vincent Price.
I know. Generic one you pulled up from the internet or something.
So
nice.
Brace yourselves for the large influx of fans we'll have from Russia suddenly. As
Nice.
our new content will be available to them from here on out.
We can spread capitalism to Russia the way Rocky did in Rocky 4.
Yeah.
But here we are, Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps.
Thrill me.
86.
Thrill
Yeah.
me.
Dude, Tom Atkins is back, man. I've missed him.
I missed me some Tom Atkins too.
I have as well. If we're opening thoughts, I really love this movie. It's really got all the 80s movie points. It's hitting nostalgia. It's a good, fun time. There's some gore. There's some cool effects. I thought it was a good time.
I did too. I'm going to piggyback off that. Ditto to everything you said. Just had that feel. Had some gore. Had some nudity. Had some boobies. Had some old snacks and things you see. The old Pepsi cup and then Tom Atkins just makes it that much better. He was so good in this.
There was some questionable acting, but we'll move forward with that. Rob, what do you think?
I didn't care for it.
Oh,
how did I know that?
I knew that was going to come.
I just
Tom Atkins.
The acting was subpar.
Yeah, the acting was.
I actually thought you would maybe like this one, Rob. It's a little more of that B movie vibe.
It's a complete ripoff of Slither.
Well, Slither
from James
is an
Gunn.
homage to this movie.
Yeah, homage.
Slither happened after this.
Slither happened way after this.
Time is a flat circle. So Slither, this movie just completely just plagiarized Slither, in my opinion.
I do like Nathan Fillion a lot. So Slither
wasn't enough gore. There wasn't enough gore. Besides, I think Tom Atkins is the only reason why people talk about this movie, because he's the only saving grace in it. So
I would say that
Jason Lively, who played Chris, was a little.
I would say the handicapped kid did a very good job acting.
Steve-O?
Other than
he was
Steve
great.
and Tom Atkins, it was very questionable.
Yeah, Steve Marshall. I used to call him Steve-O.
It was pretty good. It just didn't. My tastes have matured. I've moved on to
Poltergeist.
Yes,
they've matured to Poltergeist.
Yes, and Anthropophagus and other things like that. I don't know. It didn't hold my attention very well. But like I said, it was okay. Maybe it just
better than some.
I've heard of it, but I'm trying to I don't know. Just I think Fright Night did it the best with the kind of campy fun stuff. I don't know. This one just didn't really.
This
Didn't really grab me that much.
This does have a recognizable video store cover to it.
Yes.
Some of the artwork. Carmelo, what do you think?
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought I was going to come here today and agree with Rob on a great. It's like it's cheesy, but it's not so cheesy that it's bad. It's fun and nostalgic, and it's like it is the essence of a cult classic horror movie in my mind, like quite literally. And we'll get into the numbers in a second, but it bombed. It came back and became a hit. I thought it was great. I mean, it's got just enough cheapness and camp to keep it from being like a mainstream, like, oh, it's like not like good in a mainstream way. It's good in like it's Saturday night and I've ordered pizza and it's 11 p.m.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm kicking back to watch, a video I found at the store. I found this cassette tape and it looks great and the box is cool. That's what this feels like.
That's the exact definition that I'm thinking of right now, too. Yes, for
Pizza
sure.
Hut. It's got to
Doesn't
be
it
Pizza
put you in
Hut.
the mood? Like, don't you hear that and say, like,
It does.
Yeah, I wanna stay up late Saturday night and eat pizza and watch
some Night of the Creeps. Yeah,
I will not to get sentimental, but while watching it, I was like, this would be a good movie for all of us to be in the same room, like together, watching.
Yeah.
having Pizza Hut, drinking dark and
Because there's
stories.
some laugh out loud moments, some major laugh out loud, ridiculous
I'm
moments.
surprised I've never seen it before. This is the first time. Yeah,
Me too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think I always confuse the title with like Night of the Demons or Night of the Comet. Or there's a lot of the Night
Creep
of.
Show, Night of the Living Dead,
And I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't realize they were all separate.
it's like the most memed Tom
Yeah.
Atkins movie.
Yeah.
So-
It's about to be when our 30 million new Russian fans
Yeah. Get a
also
hold of
jump on board.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's this movie about, Carmelo?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Daniel.
Thrill me, Carmelo. Thrill me.
In the 1950s, a rogue alien shoots a experimental canister down to Earth, and releases these slugs into a small town. While quite by coincidence, an axe murderer has escaped from a insane asylum and has murdered a young police officer's ex-girlfriend. Flash forward 30 years or so into the 1980s, the distant future, where a few young college students on the prowl for, a good education with the ladies, they stumble upon these slugs. They accidentally release them from cryogenic storage where they've possessed a corpse. And these slugs go around killing and possessing dead bodies, animating them as corpses. And then when they're destroyed, more slugs birth out of their heads. They've incubated and they continue to spread. Now that cop has grown up to be none other than Tom Atkins, and only Tom Atkins and our fresh-faced star Chris Romero, played by Jason Lively, can stop the alien slug invasion from ruining the spring formal for our young Greek college students. In the end, Atkins has to confront the axe murderer who's become an axe murdering zombie. He has to blow up a house with all the slugs in it. And, the movie ends with the aliens desperately trying to find the few remaining slugs who have stumbled upon a cemetery, setting up what would have been, I'm sure, a terrific sequel that never happened.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too bad. I was just researching to see if there was one. I couldn't find it. Yeah.
Well, what are the numbers? These numbers did not do well. It did not do well.
Well, just what Carmelo was saying, it bombed, which the release date 1986, August 22nd. Budget was $5 million, and the gross is only $592,000. So that's interesting. Gosh, this is better than that.
Well, yeah, but do you know why it bombed so bad?
Why?
So I looked this up because I was so curious. The weekend this came out, in the theaters at the same time, was Top Gun,
Okay.
The Fly, Friday the 13th Part 6. This is just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And there was at least one other horror movie. I'm gonna look up what it was because I've forgotten. But this was up against like a horror, like ultimate horror slate for the weekend and Top Gun.
Yeah.
So it was really just.
I mean,
it was also released regionally and not like nationally, is what I read as well.
Oh, so
they didn't get as many theaters as the
US.
Didn't get as well, not just US. Like probably just maybe 7 regional big markets or something like that, or
geez.
10.
Yeah.
So
well, there's a big reason.
didn't get the big release that they were fighting for, that Fred Dekker was fighting for.
And if you want to take your date out for like a date night to see a horror movie, you're going to either the Friday the 13th Part 6 or the acclaimed Fly because it was so grotesque. So I bet you that was probably the reason.
I can't believe I forgot it. Aliens at the same time. Too.
Aliens?
Aliens was number 1 at the box office.
Oh well, there you go. Well, that's why.
And followed by Friday the 13th 6, Top Gun, Karate Kid Part 2. Like, it was a hell of a month. And August is a bad time traditionally for horror movies, but they picked August because they thought it would get like a back to school crowd because the movie takes place in a college campus, and they were like,
the fraternities and everything. Yeah,
and
damn, it's too bad. Well. Now it's become a cult classic and seems like it's done good on rentals and DVD and videotapes.
Don't have that info, but it has to have.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start with Fred Dekker, writer, director, producer. So Fred bought an 8mm camera when he was 12 and started making movies as a young kid. He gravitated toward horror and developed a passion for horror movies, and then eventually went to UCLA Film School. He said he always had the idea for this movie. It's just been simmering in his head. It was deeply inspired by all the B movies he knew and loved. He described, the process of getting into it as lifting the lid on the stew pot inside his head and seeing what was in there. One night he had a hard time sleeping, and the line "Thrill me" sprung into his head, and that was the first nugget.
Of course.
I said this during the pregame show because I hope, Scotty, I really hope you adopt this as your new catchphrase. But
I think I will. It's been sitting.
Start answering the phone
now.
that way.
Yeah. Start
since I watched the movie last
Hollywood.
night.
At the end of the movie, when Atkins blows himself up to save the world and destroy all the slugs, just before the explosion, what's his name? Chris Romero says, "Thrill me." And I paused and I rewound a little bit, and I thought to myself, it came out of fucking nowhere, and I didn't know if it was like a catchphrase I'd missed. Did Tom Atkins say it earlier in the movie, and maybe I forgot? Like, it just seems like a weird thing to say about someone who's about to kill themselves to save your life,
And he sure did. Tom Atkins said it like 3 times.
So like more than 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was bad.
Yeah. Well, Dekker developed the nightmare sequence around that line. The whole sequence that memed so much from Tom Atkins sitting there in his white tuxedo with the coconut. So he developed the character of Ray first and figured out, why was he being awoken from this nightmare. At the time he was thinking of this, he was making a short film that featured some college nerds. It was like a sci-fi time travel short film. So he just lifted the 2 characters from that film, Chris and JC, and brought them and a pretty girl he had. And then, he had a story. Although I would argue the pretty girl should have better teeth.
Yeah, but she's still pretty.
It is the 80s.
Yeah, teeth weren't like perfect.
She already had like slight coffee stains on them.
In England, she would have been her teeth would have been a 10. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's a regional thing.
Her front teeth were all like the side, like her big
I thought she was very pretty.
She was pretty. Yes, I think she was too.
Yeah.
Well, he kept on brainstorming, and he thought zombies, space aliens, more pretty girls, all the quote unquote B movie crap. Put it in a blender, and then he wrote the movie in 2 weeks.
It's crazy. You can't tell.
No, you can't.
You can't tell that this was just a menagerie of stolen ideas written quickly in 2 weeks.
This movie predates those other movies. I don't know.
It doesn't predate Invasion of the Body Snatchers or The Blob or
just his Invasion of the Body
Man Without a Face.
We can make more movies like that so that we can have a happy, feel good, nostalgic time
and have pizza and Pepsi.
That's right.
But he probably had movies he inspired him.
It makes you happy, Rob, he did not think it was all that great, but wanted to just put himself fully into it and see what kind of nibbles he got. So this was Dekker's first feature-length film. He would go on to write and direct Monster Squad, a Tales from the Crypt episode, and RoboCop 3. He also worked on Star Trek Enterprise.
As we're correlating all the evidence here, it appears my side's winning without even trying.
He wrote The Predator 2018 with the
Which
comedic
everybody
stuff.
hated.
I actually hated that movie. All right.
Rob, you were just saying how you
haven't
loved
seen
it.
it.
No. I said everybody hated it. I personally didn't. I actually really do like it. And I've told multiple times on the podcast, and I think to Danny and Scotty personally, I don't understand the hate that Thomas Jane gets.
It's the Thomas Jane Key and Peele exchange that you love so much, right?
No, I do, but that's why I don't understand why other people did. Because I personally think Thomas Jane is incredible, but everybody hates his Punisher. Everybody, it's like everybody shits on Thomas Jane. I think Thomas Jane.
I love Thomas Jane.
Do it wrong.
He's the best.
It's weird because I think his Punisher is the best. Period.
Yeah,
I don't think another
agree.
Punisher is better than Thomas Jane's Punisher, and he had to deal with John Travolta and still made a good movie. So
I'm with you 100% on the Punisher, Rob.
Yeah,
I don't get why they
need to
changed
rewatch.
the new Punisher guy, the big puffy guy. I
haven't seen
he wasn't scary.
I
or
like
Punisher-y
Bernthal a lot.
to me.
Are you talking about Bernthal?
No,
John Bernthal?
Who did it? Carmelo would know.
Ray
this 'cause he's-
Stevenson was the second Punisher.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ray
Ray
Stevenson.
And actually, I'm sorry, the third. Dolph Lundgren was
Dolph
the first,
Lundgren.
then Thomas
Yeah.
Jane, then Ray Stevenson, now John Bernthal.
But I bet if you Google it, and I remember hearing it because Roof is a big comic book guy too, or just everybody loved Ray Stevenson's Punisher.
They did, but they hated that movie. That movie is like universally reviled.
Yeah, but like you can't have it both ways. You can't be like but I honestly think Thomas Jane was a better Punisher than Ray Stevenson. Thomas Jane was huge for that movie.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it.
He was great.
It's actually a really good movie. I think
I need to rewatch
I
it, too.
haven't watched the Barenthal series.
Thomas
Bernthal's
Jane-
awesome.
Bernthal,
I like Barenthal.
Yeah.
His podcast is great.
I need
I like
to.
Bernthal's
I've been meaning to
podcast.
listen to it, but his Punisher, I don't know. I think it probably gives James a run for its money. It's just because it's such a well-made series too.
Well, I honestly think any really, really good story deserves series. I don't like these 3-hour movies or anything like that. And I think
Yeah, the long form stuff is
the
better.
Punisher deserves a series. I think most movies that are novelizations deserve a series because at least right now the writing, people can't seem to compress a book into an hour and a half. It's 3 hours.
I agree with you.
No, just
You can't.
and nowadays
Grabbing it too
people,
much.
nowadays people are putting money into them. I mean, Netflix, I'm sure the budget for Barenthal's Punisher was 10 times what the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I
it seems like
agree
Fred
with you.
Decker liked Thomas Jane then.
Yeah.
Like
well,
we were talking about this movie. Like this movie's got so many moving parts, and the slugs and the aliens and the serial killer and the axe murderer and like Tom Atkins story with like I think
His depression and stuff.
I think a 5 or 8 part series with this I would sit and watch 5 or 8 parts and like if they did it like in a full from the 1950s up to
It
present.
would be really cool because stuff like Atkins hunting down the axe murderer and killing him, which is a story he tells in the movie, would have been
That's
an
like
episode.
that's an hour episode.
and
I
it would
would
have
watch
been
that.
fucking awesome.
and he keeps having flashbacks about it, but you don't really
Yeah.
get into the flashbacks.
Yeah.
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 Well, so Decker, we talked about how he wrote The Predator. Well, he was only 26 when he directed this movie.
Oh wow.
Originally, he wanted the film to be totally in black and white, but then ended up just doing the 1959 stuff. He included every B movie cliche he could think of and insisted on directing himself. And most of the main characters are actually named after horror film makers. That's a little Easter egg.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
I heard one
I
of the
heard Officer Raimi. That paused me
Raimi. I heard
because-
Raimi.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I had to do some math. I'm like, because Evil Dead had come out for sure, but also it was a cult hit, right? So you would have had to have seen it at a theater or found the video cassette somehow. And like, I was like, was Raimi famous enough yet? Or did I just know it? And-
How many people knew about him then, you know?
yeah, and I didn't know. And then clearly enough for Fred Decker to have admired him. I just, I had to pause and think about that.
You know, like this is the day and age of Fangoria. And if you were
85, 86.
if you were a horror guy, I'm sure you already read articles in Fangoria about Evil Dead or Raimi versus Craven, and you know that and it was like this little boys
Carpenter.
club. It was like this little boys club of these guys that were rock stars.
I
You
think
know, so
Evil
I'm
Dead
sure
2
him doing this was a not. Well,
I
Evil
think
Dead
2 was
like
86.
82.
I thought it was 86. And so news might have been
May have been.
about
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
2's about to come out and,
Right. It might have been the buzz at
and
the
all
time.
that. Yeah. But
Boy, Fangoria really takes me back, Rob. really.
Yeah.
Oh man, Evil Dead 2 was 87.
Oh, 7.
Yeah,
I was
I
thinking
thought it was
6.
86,
I think
87.
I
But
was
they were
remembering
probably in
filmed 86.
production.
Yeah, filmed in
mean,
86, released in
during
87.
this, yeah, for
But
sure.
Raimi still had a name because, well, didn't he
Well,
do
original
something
Evil
between
Dead was
Evil
like
Dead?
81. Originally, Evil Dead was 81.
Was it
When was
81?
Dark
Okay.
Man?
I don't think Darkman.
No, that was
like
1990.
90s. Yeah. Well, the second
did between.
The second unit director on this was Steve Miner, who directed Friday the 13th Part 2 and Halloween H2O, short sleeves under long sleeves under short
Steve
sleeves.
Miner.
I'm telling you, Halloween H2O is a sleeper movie now. I really like that movie.
Once again, I'm going to continue the trend of agreeing with Rob because I love H2O. I think it's great.
I like H2O too.
After you watch them when you watch them in order, like we had to suffer through, it's difficult because they blur. But the last couple of years when it gets to be spooky season, I find myself watching the original and then I'm like, oh God, I do want to watch another Myers movie. I find myself going to H2O.
Yeah,
I still like the
I don't-
second one too. I like the
It's
second.
I love
okay.
the second one.
I love the second
Halloween
Halloween,
too.
too.
I think Halloween 6 is so bad that
It is really bad.
and not even insulting the movie. It was not finished. You covered it. You guys covered that it was released basically not done, and it shows. But H2O, that's why I'm with Rob. I'll skip right to H2O after 2. Really, I don't even hate 5. I actually really like 4. But I'm like, I don't have any room in my heart for that timeline. Just
No
go straight to
connection.
H2O.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
They filmed this in Los Angeles at Griffith Observatory, Royce Hall, Cal State, San Fernando Valley, University of Southern California. So just all over California.
It's cool. That's really cool.
The opening sequence with the aliens were actually little people in alien costumes.
Those were funny.
Yeah.
Can I get a political hot take from Rob for a second? Rob, why is the phrase little people okay and other terms for little people are not okay? Because I don't get it.
I mean, I still call them midgets.
Because you've got your finger on the pulse of the culture, Rob. You understand
You
what
do.
people
Rob
want and
understands the people.
feel. He does. He's a man.
I
And
do
I'm
think I do think I don't think there's anything wrong with midget. But like I can't really think of another word that's worse or that's like the rest of them are pretty demeaning and terrible.
Dwarves.
That's true.
Dwarves, dwarves is a little
acceptable, but it is. I think that's more demeaning.
Well,
I think it's more demeaning too.
And I'm ignorant in this area. I mean this. I thought dwarf was a medical term. Like dwarfism is the thing, right?
Yeah,
I thought that was like an actually okay way to say it. But because little people, to me, that sounds silly. But what the fuck does my opinion on it matter?
I think you can call them dwarfs once their like ears or head take a certain shape.
Okay, so it's also not just that they're small; it's that they have an enlarged.
Yeah, it's more about their features.
Got it.
Got it. Okay.
Combined with the size.
I say that we start bringing midget back though, just for this show.
Do we have any little people in the audience who can please comment and tell us,
or midgets in the
for
audience,
one term or another? I really want to know because I'm with Rob. If you all tell me midget is a bad word, I won't say it. But
it won't stop me. So get somebody to lift you up to the counter to get the phone. And
oh my god! All right, let's move on.
We're gonna get a special 1-800 number you can call into.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, so
it's really difficult for them to type or write emails with their fingers.
Danny, why don't we cut Rob's mic and move on?
I was calling these weird alien goblins. I used the word
Fred
goblins.
said that at the very first test screening, the aliens got a laugh, which he was not expecting. I don't know why he wasn't expecting that because they looked sort of hilarious.
They looked really silly.
But that was a learning lesson for him.
Goblins.
He took that constructive criticism and learned to love the idea that it was a bit comedic. They built 2 alien foam rubber suits and put them on little people to get the desired effect, and the suits had these radio-controlled large mechanical heads.
They weren't bad, but they were a bit silly. And when I saw it, I immediately went straight to like, oh, this is that kind of movie.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
and
it sounds like that's what he was
And then
making, though. Like, I don't know why he would be upset about the laughs because if he's trying to make this meta movie, like Was
It's a love letter to 50 sci-fi.
That's also, someone I don't get about, some of these remakes and stuff like that, like, trying to make it scary. Well, the original wasn't scary. I mean, Friday the 13th wasn't really scary. I mean, I saw it when I was very young and it didn't scare me. Like, I think we talked about the only movie that ever actually scared me to where I had nightmares, unbelievable nightmares, was The Exorcist.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Yeah, well,
same here.
It was
agreed, 100%.
And then when they did
I had some Freddy Krueger nightmares when I was
me too.
9 or 8.
I didn't get into Freddy till I was in my teens. I was a Jason guy, but and then the 1991 miniseries, because I was
Pretty scary.
6,
Pretty scary.
and my mom's a King fan, so at 6 years old, I was kind of peeking
Creepy clown
behind the couch and watching that. And
I thought you were saying you
absolutely terrified me.
peaked when you were 6.
I mean, I had a mullet when I was 6, so I mean, I pretty much did.
You peeked at it.
But no, I have not. Like Evil Dead 2013, I think it's the best horror movie ever made, period. And it did worry me, but I never, I can't imagine people were terrified of it. I still think The Exorcist is the scariest movie ever made.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah. I remember because I would have been like 7 or 8 or 9, something like that, when they re-released The Exorcist, as they released the extended cut in theaters for the anniversary. So like mid to late 90s, and I would see the commercials on television, and that gave me
that's enough to do it.
They could only show so much.
All they really did was add in that. All they really did was add in that creepy crab walk.
They added the spider walk.
Yeah,
And
the spider walk.
there is a couple things in there. I'm not sure I've ever seen it now without all the extra stuff, because I
haven't seen it. I think if you just get it on Amazon, it is the extended cut.
Yeah, I think that's the only one you can get.
And they added they made Pazuzu's face in where the light goes off in the attic, kind of pushed it more.
Yeah,
but that's kind of about it. But again, that movie,
it's freaky.
Oh,
I don't think I'll watch it now, even today with the lights off.
It's one of my.
It's not worth destroying my night of sleep over, because that movie still gets to me.
Oh yeah,
it'll get to me too. So
that and Sinister.
To me, it's
Sinister. Oh my dude, Sinister is
which we'll be covering next time.
I think Scotty's right.
Next time,
I think Sinister is the closest thing to The Exorcist in terms of just. I watched Sinister at night, late at night. I was bored. It came on. I watched it late at night in bed with the lights off, and that movie was difficult to get through.
Yeah, dude, it was freaky.
I saw it in theaters, I think. Yeah, so it was.
We saw it in theaters together.
So the whole black and white section was obviously over the top 50s. The acting was very stylized and over the top. Going back to some of these,
that was kind of cool. I thought it was gonna be that type of movie for like the space, with like the weird aliens, and then it went down to black and white with the 50 song. I'm like, all right, okay,
right,
throwing a curveball at me here.
I enjoyed Steve Marshall's performance, actually, who played JC. He started being a PA in films as a kid. He was doing production managing and working in Yugoslavia in a miniseries with Robert Downey Jr. So he flew to LA with RDJ, who helped him get an agent, and 6 months later, he had the role in Creeps.
Wow, this was like peak Robert Downey Jr. too. So
he was like
he helped him get an agent, and he helped him smuggle like a kilo of hash back from Yugoslavia to America.
Well, what's funny is Fred never explained to him why his character was disabled. To this day, he doesn't know why, and they never had any conversations about it.
That was kind of weird.
So I saw an interview with the director on it, actually, and it came up. And I know I've been accused of turning this into a woke podcast, so at the risk of doing that, I want to applaud the director, though, for a moment, because he's like, I just wanted it to be more representative of all the different kinds of audience members, and that's why it was important to me that he be in the movie, be disabled, but that's not a plot point. Like it's not about, because at the time, really, and even today, most content about or with someone with a disability is going to be about that disability. And it's better to just be like, yeah, but they're just like normal people like everybody else, and they're on college campus like everybody else. And so he was really just trying to be a little more inclusive. And that's for 1980, like that's nowadays thinking. 1986, he was ahead of the curve. And I think that's a good thing. Why, I don't know why that pisses people off to say it's bad to have some representation.
No, it was good.
He's like, we're going to have cripples. but we're not having minorities in this film.
That is true. There are a startling
And
lack
I'll have
One or the
little
other.
people, but they're going to have mechanical heads.
Yeah.
He does. There's the one black detective, but I'm not sure that he has a line in the movie that I remember.
I don't think so.
He does an awful lot of looking disgruntled, though. He
Yeah, he
shows
does.
up and he like, oh,
And
what's
he
going on
worked
here?
in the dentally disadvantaged as well. So you have that. Speaking of Jill Whitlow, who played Cynthia, revealed that she had a crush on Steve while they were filming the movie. Meanwhile, everyone on set had a crush on Jill.
Well,
She was a great friend to
course.
everyone. Great friend. No, I'm just
Stop.
I'm speculating. She had just finished Thunder Run, and this movie was her second lead. She heard about the movie, thought it would be such a fun movie to make, and when she got it, was so excited and thrilled to be involved. It was a fun family atmosphere while shooting. But yeah, when she read the part, she felt a real connection to Jill, and she considers herself naive and gullible in real life, so that worked well in the performance. Jason Lively, who played Chris, had a reputation for being the funny, hilarious guy on set, and he and Jill felt like brother and sister immediately and had a great relationship.
Oh,
He was a-
only brother
he was
and
a
sister.
jokester.
That's when the
That's
hand
not good
stuff
enough.
started happening.
Yeah, brother and sister hand stuff. He was a jokester who played pranks on Jill and loved all the action and stuff in the movie. So, yeah, it was. She had the crush on the handicapped guy, not Jason Lively.
But was he
And
really
he wasn't really
handicapped, or was he just fake
He
handicapped?
wasn't really handicapped.
Oh, so then
I don't
the
think
director.
he was really handicapped. I don't know that.
Okay, well, so
for sure.
then that's not that's not.
The director's fake in being inclusive because someone's acting like he's handicapped, but I don't know that.
Okay.
Maybe he really is. I don't know.
That's
if
not
he's
really
handicapped.
too woke for Carmela to say.
Well,
I
obviously
still think it's
not.
better than
Okay.
coming up with a fake Native American language
That's
when
true.
there were perfectly good real ones that you could have used.
that they did in Prophecy. Actually, obviously he
They
wasn't.
did, not just a Native American language. They couldn't even get Native Americans.
they're all Italians and Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
Jill kind of had that Jennifer Tilly like voice, like a really high, like
That's why Carmelo
right? Didn't she?
That explains the reaction I had during the movie.
She kind of did. She had that like little like I don't know like raspiness a little bit,
Yeah,
but
just
high
a little
pitch.
bit.
Yeah.
I think it's apparent that the actor that Steve wasn't really handicapped because of the fact we just talked about. How for some reason he's handicapped in the script and they never had conversations about it. They
I was saying
wouldn't have had
that's not too
conversations
woke
about
at
it.
Carmelo because like the new woke thing is like why isn't Superman a double amputee or something like that?
Yeah, there it is.
'Cause they want people with real disabilities to play people with disabilities
Yeah.
on movies and TV.
And that's fair
stuff
enough
like that.
too.
It's a new
Like,
one.
it, I mean, you know,
But it's just really difficult when you say cut and you got to get them back in their cages.
views of Robert O'Neill do not necessarily reflect the views of the cult classic horror show.
when you're wrangling them back up, to get in their crates.
Oh, and to every genius out there who thinks that's a legitimate legal disclaimer and not a joke, if you haven't noticed, we play a game where Rob tries to get me to say it, and he has to keep going up till get me to say it. So maybe keep that in mind next time.
Yes. Yes.
I had the crate joke for a while, and everybody left the handicap conversation and came right back to
Yeah,
it. So
you're like, God, I didn't get it in there, damn it.
The university, Corman University, named after Roger Corman, as
Oh,
you
yeah.
can imagine.
There we go.
In the movie.
Roger Corman still doesn't know who this guy is. Okay,
might
so he can quit kissing ass.
I don't know if Roger Corman knows what is even going on right now around it.
He knows he's still cashing checks. I wonder how much he's worth.
Yeah. He's not cashing those John Carpenter checks, though.
No.
No,
he's
probably
not cashing those.
I assume John Carpenter still gets paid
He's got to. I mean,
because he
even-
sold it to Mustafa
yeah, so
Akkad,
royalties.
and then he sold it to Zombie, and then Bloomhouse. I wonder how much he is getting paid for Halloween.
No, he's getting
royalties.
I bet he's getting a lot. I bet he's held on to some of the rights throughout all of these transactions, or is leasing the rights, or is
His name's attached to every Halloween movie.
That is true.
He keeps Deborah Hill in a cage in the basement.
Yeah.
Her corpse, because she died like.
That's right.
Did she die? Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. She did.
Jeez, y'all thought my cage.
Yeah, his
comment
corpse
was
is
bad.
bad. Her corpse is definitely down there.
The special effects team were cast as the frat boys, who later turned into zombies after the bus crash.
Oh.
That's pretty interesting.
That explains the great acting.
Yeah.
They couldn't pour a beer to save their life.
No.
Where was all the beer at? I saw it. Well,
This one guy had one bottle of beer in the back of the bus, the frat boys, and he's like, it's like, he's like drizzling it into mugs all the way around.
Yeah, just one sharing it. Bradster had a beer. Bradster had one beer. Teeth through the grass.
Well, the friendship between Steve and JC was a big thing for Decker. He said he had that type of friendship with his friends when he was younger in college, this sort of camaraderie. So that was
camaraderie
built into there.
That type of friendship.
The introduction to Tom Atkins' character was an homage to Jaws, Decker's favorite movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he redeeming himself? He's redeeming himself a little bit.
No, because Jaws has got to be like lots of people's favorite movies.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
might be.
And he probably could have got Roy Schneider or he probably could have got Schneider to do this.
Wait,
in
was
86.
Tom
I believe
Atkins
it's
in Jaws?
Scheider.
Schneider or Scheider?
I don't think there's an N in it. Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a.
Oh, the introduction to I say Tom Atkins wasn't in Jaws, but his introduction was like
the dream sequence of the girl in the water.
Yep, and the coconut, and got it.
Tom has apparently said this is his favorite movie he's ever made.
Well, this is probably the biggest role he's ever had in a movie.
Maybe he just had the most fun on it. You have all these college
that's what
kids.
I mean. He did so much stuff in this where, like in Halloween 3, he was a lead, but he didn't do near as much.
Badass. This movie, he's peak Tom Atkins.
Yeah,
and then in The Fog, he didn't have a mustache, and he had to make out with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
so
I
disgusting.
don't. I understand you picked at her for her age now. I do not. 80s Jamie Lee Curtis was a smoke show, and I do not understand what
she was.
Oh no,
Trading Places.
Yeah, Trading Places. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
True Lies, even in the 90s.
True Lies.
Oh yeah.
I never thought she was that attractive in True Lies.
No.
But I was young when I saw True Lies.
Someone needs to rewatch the striptease scene.
Oh yeah, that's.
I need to watch. I was actually trying to watch True Lies a couple weeks ago, and Shannon. Well, I don't know. We didn't have time, and she wasn't feeling it. Whatever.
Just how I like 80s. What's the Terminator 1? The girl that's in it.
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Now we're talking about girls we like.
I think she would just grab your dick and rip it right off.
Dude.
Yeah,
Linda
that's
Hamilton,
Terminator 2. In Terminator 1, she's
Terminator
like
1, man, she's looking good.
Nah, the hair in Terminator 1 just doesn't do it.
Oh, I love it.
I just love. Man.
No, I'm sorry. Her and,
I'm with you guys on this.
Her and Michael
Linda
Biehn.
Hamilton for sure.
To be clear, I love Jack Linda Hamilton too. I
don't know.
I went back and rewatched Terminator 1 and then Terminator 2, and I stand by it again. Terminator 1 is so much better.
Dude, Michael Biehn in Terminator 1 is so great. I love
Like Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2, possibly more attractive.
Yeah,
but she's so unhinged, you can't like her.
I disagree. Actually, the more unhinged a woman is, generally speaking,
Yeah,
the
but
more
she turns into the
She's a little manly in it.
antagonist of the movie. She causes all the terrible things.
I thought your favorite part about the whole Terminator franchise was Mom!
Oh, Furlong. Of course.
I'll tell you, that's the other reason why that movie does not age well, because he gets worse. Somehow Furlong gets even worse.
Hamilton just needs
movie.
to put the backhand.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I think we're having a challenge today of how many different movies we can talk about.
Well, I mean,
I like it because there's little snippets.
I was going to say, I don't even notice our notes are a little light for today. This is the way we're going to fill.
They're a little light. They're a little light. So,
I mean, this movie to me is kind of like, when did that Fear Night? When did Fright Night come out?
I think that was 86.
I don't know when Fright Night. Get to someone have to look it up.
I have this bad habit. If you ask me when anything happened in the 80s, I say 1984. The answer, though, for this is pretty close. 1985.
Okay, so I mean that's kind of what this movie to me feels like, is a not so good version of Fright Night. Which I never seen Friday Night until we did the podcast on it, and it has all of the meta-ness to it, but they went about it in such a way with a horror movie host and all of those things, where this movie honestly feels like an anthology film, but without the anthology.
The important question is, who pulls more snatch, Sarandon or Atkins?
Atkins.
Definitely Atkins. Oh, no doubt.
Vampire Sarandon?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
No, it's Atkins.
Yeah.
I could imagine Sarandon probably has a more healthy relationship with like a significant other, where Atkins does not. Atkins just out there slinging it everywhere.
That's true. And Sarandon's living on that Nightmare Before Christmas money now.
Oh, is he in Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, he's the talking voice of Jack, and Danny Elfman's the speaking voice of Jack.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
No. It's still Atkins. He just drags it on the ground until somebody steps on it.
Princess Bride, of course. Anyways, so everything you see inside the sorority is an actual sorority at USC. It was actually abandoned. They gutted it. They made it over and dressed it up. But they did actually have to rebuild the set to shoot one section of the film. Decker he's frustrated by the pacing of the sorority sequence and thinks it's too slow. That's the part where the body comes to her window and everything, and that's when it first sort of
it is
up.
really weird because it is slow, and then it bounces back and forth between there, like oddly between the front yard and then back into the building.
Yeah, it's a little slow, but the effects of the slugs moving was accomplished with strings. They would pull a string in the grass, or if it was on the concrete, they'd put little wheels on the things. And they would just drag it.
I love the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
They made
little string worm toys.
They made hundreds of these things, hundreds of them.
Wow.
I'm going across. It was Tom's idea to stop and smell the rose on the way into the sorority house.
I love that.
It was such a nice touch.
Right when I saw that, I was like, I guarantee that was his idea. He probably just did that when they yelled action.
Right.
He was hamming it up. I think that's why he loves this role so much. He got to tell the story about going back and avenging the murder of his ex high school girlfriend. And he really got to just, he went into this playing like a 1950s like noir detective. And he just got to just eat the scenery up. He was fantastic in this movie. I think that's the reason why this movie continues, to where Fright Night has, I think, a following because of the special effects, and it probably was one of the first real kind of throwback meta movies, and it has like a reverse horror element with is the vampire like the whole urban Rear Window. It's where this movie, I mean, this is just if you're an Atkins fan, this is the best Atkins movie you can watch.
Yeah. I mean, just from the first crime scene, he owns the place. He's always smoking a cigarette.
What? He's like chewing a cigarette. I mean, he literally
always has a cigarette.
cigarette.
He's got his Miller High Life at home. He's got a shotgun.
What started this Atkins craze? I wonder. I
honestly think it was this.
You think so?
I think this movie became a cult following, and because all the memes, I think, like you said, come from this movie. So many. If you Google Tom Atkins, I don't know how he.
How was he hired for this movie? There had to have been something that kicked off. He, as a
Halloween 3, he was a lead.
That was 82, so that was before.
And then you got to think there's some before that. He's not.
He did the Fog.
Okay.
But those were.
He's got a lot of.
Those were Carpenter films, so I don't know what all.
I feel like he was
Carpenter's like a TV guy,
smoking buddy or something. Because I think.
He was in Maniac Cop, The Fog.
Yeah. 1980 Fog, yeah.
It's not like a very attractive guy to be. I don't know.
He just has that voice and demeanor. I don't know. He almost looks like Tom Skerritt, but I don't know. It's just he has that mustache too.
Anyways, Decker thought killing a likable character like JC in the film taught the audience that all bets are off. And I did think it was weird how he happened to just light one on fire underneath the stall door. It was like passing by.
Yeah,
you're muted, by the way, Carmelo. Just letting you know. But passing him by, it just passed by, and he just caught the little fucker on fire.
Perfect.
That needed a little more.
First try. First try, he got him.
Holy crap! If you look at him, Atkins, he was in Lethal Weapon as Michael Huntsacker. He did Stingray, Blind Justice, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Fall Guy, The New Kids, T.J. Hooker, Masquerade, The Mississippi, Murder Me, Murder You, Saint Elsewhere, and then Halloween 3. So he has a lot
of stuff before.
He's got like 9. He's got like 9 credits between 82 and 86. He just was busy.
Yeah,
all the time.
He was busy.
The
Poor
speaking
guy.
of lighting the thing, the hands doing all the work there wasn't JC's hands. It was a different actor. You can notice the arms are a lot hairier.
Jeez.
And then I've never seen Monster Squad, but apparently there's a Monster Squad Easter egg written on the bathroom wall because Decker knew it was going to be his next movie. So that's interesting.
What was Monster
I don't
Squad?
know if I've seen
was
Monster
that
Squad.
Was that musical thing?
No, Monster Squad is great.
Yeah.
Monster Squad is fun. It's like a classic, like, I don't know, Gremlins or Goonies-esque kind of
We'll have to cover it.
teen kids team up to fight Dracula.
Monster Squad.
Mummy,
Oh, yeah.
Frankenstein, the Wolfman.
1987.
Oh, Tom Noonan's in it.
Great
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Great movie.
Decker thinks that the best scene in the movie is Steve and Ray talking in his office. JC and Steve and Atkins talking in his office, which makes sense because they're the two best actors in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was terrible. Like, there was no one that took me out of it bad, but there was definitely a little schmaltz.
Yeah.
Yeah. The zombie with the cops where Atkins blows his head off with the shotgun, that was a mix of puppet and a guy in a suit and some Zoom type stuff they were doing with the dolly and camera to make things look weird.
Awesome. That zombie looked great.
It was cool. Steve, I don't know why, it doesn't really matter, but Steve Miner, who I said, filmed, was second unit on this, did shoot the montage sequence of all the college kids getting ready for the dance, which had plenty of boobies and a lot of
You gotta have a montage.
yeah.
Montage. America.
Fuck yeah.
This seems a little
I miss you guys.
Fuck yeah.
this
I can
seems
rewatch that movie right now.
It's been a while.
Team America. Yeah. That's so
Durka
good.
Durka Jihad.
Durka. So good.
Matt Damon.
Man, I'm so lonely.
Show road.
wrong.
Eight. Okay.
Everybody has AIDS.
It seemed a
Okay,
little.
we need to do an episode on Team America.
Team America.
We'll bring back
sure.
full classic comedy.
Yeah. A special episode.
Anyways,
Team America
this
was
seems a little excessive, but I guess Decker, for the scene when Jason is reacting to listening to the recording of JC basically right while he, dies,
Right.
Decker put pictures of the Holocaust on the desk around the room for him to look at in order to help him with his reaction and to be serious in the scene.
Why was he in the Holocaust or something?
He really had to get into it.
Just wanted to
Freaking ass
somber the
shit is
mood.
that?
Wanted to somber the mood. I don't know.
I know how much Carmelo likes me.
He
To
had
get
children in the
political,
Holocaust.
so I've got a lot of things to say about the Holocaust.
Do you?
Rob and I are going to be doing our own podcast soon where we're going to delve into those kinds of views.
First
And-
episode is going to be the Holocaust ? So just keep your eyes out for it.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Keep your eyes open.
We're all going to jail.
Oh my god.
The animal wrangler in this movie went on to work on Babe.
Oh, fun.
Oh,
yeah.
the
Isn't
little
that
pig.
fun?
Yeah,
that's so
or the
fun.
big
That's,
pig.
that's a little fun.
Babe.
Something special.
Yeah.
don't
Decker
really
hates the
remember.
dog puppet effect. It's his least favorite part of the film. This-
I love the
wasn't
dog puppet.
Terrible, actually.
Yeah.
I thought I think the worst effects in it were the flamethrower effects because as soon as they hit the heads, you could tell it's like, oh, that is paper mache or some kind of like plastic or vinyl because the smoke's just, it immediately just starts to look not good.
Yeah. Well,
The dog was okay, except for the fact that they killed the dog.
I like the cat better. I like the cat face better.
the cat face looked pretty cool. It looked pretty cool.
I wish
Pet
my cat.
Sematary-esque.
I wish my cat would jump into my hands like she did. Like
Yeah,
the-
right. But cats don't have any need for
Cats
us.
don't usually do that.
They
But
make that clear.
Also, Chris is his own man
yeah,
and he does
He
things
is.
on his own terms.
like Cat Chris. Yeah,
So
he is.
He also doesn't.
he will jump up on a nightstand. In
Oh, yeah,
the
he
middle of
will.
the night
He'll-
and scare the living
he'll-
shit out of you.
He'll sleep on my pillow and touch my pillow.
I don't think he knows what's going on around him either.
Oh, I think he
He
does.
looks like he's out of it all the time.
Yeah, but see, that's just
His face is just flat. That's just.
that's just him
I
playing
guess
the
so.
game.
That's just him.
It's just him playing the game. That cat knows exactly what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on.
And when you start to pet his head, he wants that shit hard.
Yeah, he starts to like lean into it.
It's like,
Just like,
Oh yeah. When he eats his food, he just smushes his face into his food bowl and he itches it as he's eating. Oh yeah.
All right, welcome to our cat podcast. The
I have a
famous
Persian
line-
cat, flat face. Yeah.
Did you ever watch that Persian cat documentary I sent you?
No, I need to see it still. Sorry.
on.
The Persian cat documentary.
Rob,
The
we don't
catwalk
watch half the
documentary?
shit you
Oh,
send us.
All right. Unfortunately, I do have to go.
No. You said
business
you
things.
canceled your appointments.
I
You
canceled
don't
my
have-
2:00. I got a 2:30 now.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
that's
all right.
we can
horseshit.
wrap this up.
Well, we are wrapping up. So, famous line. Good news is your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead. Was a sleeper one. Decker didn't write it intending it to be noticed or anything, and it became
good.
like the trailer moment of the movie and featured in all the magazines.
They say the last collaborator of the artist is the audience.
That's
so-
true. The other
I
line.
planned on it being a big deal, except it was a single shot with a push-up close-up to it. Tom
That's
Atkins
true.
chewing a cigarette while
I know
holding
it
a
was.
shotgun.
It was very. And also the shot of him spinning around shooting everyone. That dolly shot. That was a
great
really
shot.
awesome
That was
one.
my
That was the
shot,
best.
dude.
That should be a
shot.
meme right
Atkins.
there. Just that spinning shot of him unloading.
Shooting spree,
I-
man.
I
I
wanna
love
get on
that
that,
shot.
please.
That was my favorite shot of the movie.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. But I did laugh out loud at a lot of other lines, like "It's Miller time." And he shoots him.
But he stole that. He stole that from the Ghostbusters.
It says it's a spoof of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and other 80 action movies where people would shoot something with a gun and say something stupid, according to Decker.
well,
is what he
that
said.
one was definitely ripped off from the Ghostbusters.
But I find myself laughing out loud, especially a couple of the lines that her initial boyfriend said. He called them all. He's like, "Oh, you still worried about those chuckleheads?"
The chuckle
was like, what?
from the Bradster.
The Bradster, the chuckleheads. Some of the shit he was using, I literally was laughing out loud.
that was
Yeah,
the
that
most
was funny.
albinoed, bleach blonde
Dude.
job done on that poor actor. I'm sure he's got chemical burns
Yeah.
because there's nothing natural about that hair color.
No, it was very. Well, there is a director's cut and a theatrical cut. I believe what we all watched is the director's cut because there's only one difference, and it's the very end. The theatrical ending features like a jump scare with the dog, I guess.
Yeah,
which I didn't
the
see.
dog runs up to Jill and Cameron while they're kissing, and she's like, "Oh, the dog's okay," and then the dog like spits the slug at her, and that's the end of the movie.
Okay. So obviously the one we saw was Tom Atkins' corpse basically walking away from the explosion.
With a cigarette.
Yeah, falling down, his head exploding, the worms coming out of his head, going into a cemetery, and then the alien ship hovering overhead with the spotlight looking for the worms, I'm assuming.
I don't like that ending.
Yeah, well, neither did the studio. They said that it was too.
I'm okay with Tom Atkins falling into things coming out and then credits, but like
Yeah.
the extra like
That would be
45 seconds of just
Yeah,
the
the
cemetery,
ship,
and the
lights, and the
spotlights,
spaceship.
and the
I was like,
ship, and-
yeah, I hear you.
Well, he said the audience and studio didn't know like what it was. The studio said they wanted the ending to be better, so they gave him more money and went back and did the garden shed sequence. Also added in the garden shed sequence with the lawnmower.
I did like that.
Yeah,
that
and that's
was
what
cool.
pushed the movie over the edge for the better. But they just said the UFO ending didn't work because it wasn't like sort of like an ending on top of an ending. Like it, I understand we had to maybe go back to the aliens because we hadn't seen them since the beginning.
That's why I like that, and it was a good bookend.
Yeah,
Of like,
that was a good bookend, I guess.
remember, it's this
Yeah.
eerie sci-fi thing. You know?
Yeah. So if you're relating them back into it, yeah.
Yeah. So they decided to release it regionally. Like I said, Decker was frustrated. It impeded his relationship with the studio. But New York Times gave it a good review, despite being a technical box office failure.
Nice.
But yeah, over the years, it's come to become a cult classic. So
Like I
liked it
can
a
see
lot.
this being a cult classic because this isn't really like a terrible movie. I mean, it's just
yeah.
I don't put it on.
Oh,
Speaking
there's
about
Connor.
speaking about children with disabilities,
Yeah.
Hey,
go back
Connor,
to your
Rob's
crate
son.
and get your chores done.
Get him back in his crate, Rob. Get him back in his crate. If
I'm
you watch
sorry.
on video, you can see things in the background every now and then. Like Rob's.
We
bird
only
flying
we
around
only
the
keep
crate.
him around because we get a monthly check from the government.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh my god!
Anyways,
He walked in here. I don't know what he wanted to
Night
do.
of the creeps. He just wanted to say hi. He wanted to see us. Damn, his hair is out of control right now. What the heck?
Yeah, he does look like a stalk of broccoli. You're right.
He's got that teenager broccoli hair.
A razor head.
Veggie Tales all day long.
Veggie Tales. So next week we're going to be covering Sinister Just so you guys know,
In 2 weeks, you mean?
In 2 weeks, before you jump all up inside my ass about it's not cult classic horror, we're expanding our horizons a little bit. We want to cover some good films.
Yeah, don't jump on me because I've been picking all the cult classic horror.
Yeah,
you have outvoted left and right.
We will certainly cover more cult classic horror right after that.
But we all love
12 years old now. I don't know what to.
We all love Sinister.
I'm excited for Sinister. I love that movie,
dude. I think we're all going to
be. And Black Phone.
Be a good episode.
Ethan Hawke had this little resurgence.
Ethan Hawke's amazing,
dude. I love him too. Yeah.
He's got great like inside the actor studio podcast interviews, things that he does, where he talks about how the audience isn't stupid and how new movies are treating him that way, and how. And I really like him. I mean, maybe he's very selective in what he does, but I think he knocked it out of the park with Black Phone.
Yeah, me too.
Sinister is
great movie.
Man, Sinister's top 5. He's top 5.
It's awesome. Sinister's awesome.
So we'll be doing. So watch that ahead of time if you guys want. So we're giving away like merch again. So we're just picking people every week or every episode that has been either contributing or sharing and engaging or has created memes and stuff, just helping us spread the word. So this week, Michael Lindquist.
Michael,
thank you for listening.
Yeah,
should we call
life in the community?
You're the horror freak of the week. Should we bring that term back?
Sure, why not?
Horror freak of the week.
No, we can't bring that back unless you do the siren.
Horror halftime. The horror halftime.
Whoa,
it's horror
what's that noise?
I'm not bringing back horror.
Whoa, what is that?
It's just horror freak of the week
or freak of the 2
weeks.
Yeah,
but the freak of the week is the horror
halftime.
I want the horror halftime.
They're two separate things now. We're separating them.
But I want the siren.
We could do the sirens again. It's not a siren. It's literally the screeching noise from Psycho.
There you go.
Then we won't be in Russia again.
Oh well.
See how the Russian audience accepts.
Michael Lindquist, shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram, or shoot me a message. Either way, and let me know your shirt size and your address, and I will send you a free T-shirt.
Maybe this one.
Yeah,
the Pizza Hut one.
We have a lot of parody.
Take it off your chest. There you go.
We have a lot of parody horror T-shirts. We also just have the logo T-shirt that's comfy as shit because it's on a tri-blend. So you just never know which one you're going to get, and I'll send it out to you. We gave Freddie Torres one last time, and we sent him a Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead canvas to hang up on his wall. So
nice.
There you go.
You never know. All right, guys. So yeah, there's that, and I think that's it. Oh, What did you watch? I know Carmelo has to run soon, but what did you watch? And you just muted yourself again, Carmelo. Oh, he's got noise. He's talking and we can't hear him, but there's noises in the background.
Someone's helping me with some work at the house. And
there's a weed whacker.
Guys, Late Night with the Devil.
It's coming out to Shudder on Friday.
Friday. I'm watching it Friday.
It's on theaters.
Fucking awesome.
I can't wait for that.
I can't wait.
Friday
either.
Slightly less strong of a recommendation for The First Omen, which I also liked.
Oh, you saw The First Omen?
Which is a slower. I mean, they captured the tone and the pacing of the original Omen, which is very different than modern horror movies. And there's a couple of things in there that really were very frightening. I thought it was both topical and true to the original. I mean, they lead straight into the original, down to the point where they show Gregory Peck.
So is this a prequel?
It's a prequel, and it's I
hadn't even heard about it. Never even knew this existed.
Yeah, I saw a little teaser for it.
It was very good. But Late Night with the Devil was excellent.
I am so excited for that movie.
Yeah. Still in theaters. Maybe I might have to go see it.
Yeah. Then I do have to run. Sorry, everybody.
Okay. Yeah. No worries, man.
Later, brother.
Bye.
Let's see. Did you watch anything, Rob?
I'm trying to see if I did.
I finished all 8 seasons of Royal Pains, which was fantastic.
I've never heard of that.
It's good. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And then I discovered Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I used to watch that when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
all 12 seasons are on HBO Max.
Are they?
Oh, nice.
It's pretty fucking funny. I watched
it.
Dude,
I was rewatching it. Me and Savannah have been. It's still hilarious. I love that show, and they're little 15-minute episodes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, they're easy to watch.
You just put them on and just crush 20 episodes because they're 12 minutes. God. I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I was dying. It's really good.
It is great.
But no, I'm waiting on Waiting on Late Night with the Devil, and then I guess I'm gonna watch this first Omen movie.
I'm waiting on Immaculate.
Yeah, me too.
Immaculate needs to hit stream.
Yeah, Immaculate looks good.
You watched Baghead?
Yes, I did.
What is it?
It's decent.
Baghead?
Like
It's a Shudder original.
Oh.
It's just good. Like it's a good fun movie. It's not like earth shattering or anything. It's a good Shudder movie. It's like just there.
All
I liked it. There's another one on there called like When the Right Person Knocks or something Shudder's got several new movies coming out that I want to watch.
Okay. I was trying to see if I could pull up my watch history, but that never.
I haven't
works.
seen anything.
You don't need to because all y'all go Dune. I went and saw Dune.
Well, we saw Dune 2.
I saw it
Dune
again.
2 was great.
We
saw it
again
3
in
times in theaters.
Twice.
Two times in theaters. We saw it.
Dune 2 was great.
Bunch of nerds. What's wrong with y'all?
I finished The Crown. I did finish that.
I haven't finished The Crown. I got one season. I'm halfway through the second to last season where it's Charles and Diana are older.
Yeah.
Like I guess like
Okay.
and I stand by my comments. I can't stand Diana. So
I know, man. Well, it was good.
I
Man.
had to take a break, but I do. My mom just finished it. She said it's incredible. We watched the Elizabeth. If you like The Crown, Elizabeth is very good. It's it's on. It's a PBS masterpiece, but it's on Prime.
We're getting away
Elizabeth is good.
from the horror here a little bit. Oh, here's my.
There's not any new horror all the horror is brand new. I haven't watched any of the brand new stuff.
Yeah,
yet.
I need to watch the horror in.
This does help actually. So I watched another Shudder one called "You'll Never Find Me."
You didn't remember that?
It was because I watched like a week and a half.
Oh,
2
nice.
weeks ago.
Which one is You'll Never Find?
It was pretty good.
It's
slow. It's about a guy in a trailer.
That's the one. That's the one I want to watch. That's the one I was telling. It was on there. It came out just before Baghead.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that one.
It's a slow burn, and you just got to
go. It looked good though.
It's decent. The acting's really good. It keeps you guessing the whole time. It's a little bit anticlimactic, but it's a nice slow burn. It's great acting and keeps you guessing. I'll just say that.
Nice. All right.
The guy that stars in it, the older guy with the beard, he looked really familiar. And the trailer was shot really well to where it looked like I can't remember the name. But anyway, it looked like a small, close.
It is. It's two characters in one location. So it's pretty interesting.
I still need to watch the Tom Hardy one where it's just him in the car.
Oh yeah.
Lock. I need to watch Lock.
It was a good one. I also rewatched Autopsy of Jane Doe.
So
good. Oh yeah, that's great.
Good.
So good.
Again, that's what I'd like for us to do if there's some information on it. It's so new.
There might be.
Some of these newer movies do not come with hardly any trivia or any information about them. But
there's so many these days coming out.
I remember when that came out. I think I paid to rent it, and it's like Sinister. It's just got this.
It's so good.
This ominous vibe. It's not overly gory. And you're interested. It's like you're interested in the movie. It's one of those movies you don't even get up. You don't even get up to use the bathroom. You just sit there and you're lost in the movie the whole time.
Yeah. And then I watched another episode of Creepshow. I've been like slowly watching some Creepshow.
Aren't they good?
Yeah, I'm still in the first season. It's pretty good.
But the production value, and they get big name actors in some of those shows.
I'm guessing the second and third season start spending more money on it.
Well, Greg Nicotero took over in the second, and he's producing it, but it's something that I've been missing. It's Tales from the Crypt or Creepshow. It's great. There's been some good ones. Episodes.
The last one I just watched was like the scarecrow that comes down off the thing, and
that's a good one. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I forgot the combo one that was with it, but yeah, it was good. It was good.
I like Creepshow.
So yeah, that's what I watched.
Yeah, that was. I didn't really get. I did watch not a horror movie, but last night I did watch Killers of the Flower Moon. So it was.
Is that any good?
It's good. I liked it a lot, but it's really long. You might have to do it. It's 3.5 hours long, man. So it's.
I remember when it was
3 hours and 20 minutes.
I remember when it was being talked about coming out, and everybody
I thought it was good.
Oh my god! And then it came out, and I didn't hear anything more about it.
I thought it was good. It's just really long. I don't know how they could have shortened it or put it in the. I don't know, but
I hope they're still doing it. There were talks a
good.
couple years ago that Leonardo DiCaprio was on board to do the Jim Jones.
Yeah.
And he would make a great Jim Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Because he already kind of looks like him and he has that, but I'll eventually will watch the Flower Moon thing.
You should watch it. Kills the Flower Moon.
Oppenheimer. Maybe people didn't talk about it.
I haven't watched Oppenheimer yet.
I haven't watched Oppenheimer either.
It's so long. I just can't. I can't
That
find
was
3
good.
hours to watch it, but I need to.
My parents went and saw it twice.
Wow.
Oppenheimer, because I guess they did it in the IMAX or whatever. I guess it swept pretty much. So
I gotta check it. I watched Killers of the Flower, and I was telling Scotty this before. Besides the female lead, who almost got an Oscar for it, I thought De Niro stole the show. I thought
De Niro's great. Yeah,
were you the one that was saying?
Too.
Or I thought I saw somebody. Maybe I don't know what Danny said it, or maybe it was an Instagram clip. But people were complaining that I guess Leo's character, he had well outaged the character he was supposed to be playing in that movie. He's supposed to be maybe a younger guy or something.
And I think younger at first, and then he gets older. But yeah, he's looking older, a little bit older these days.
Yeah,
he has that really Southern accent in it.
Well, I want to check it out, but
you should
3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Anyways, well, yeah.
All right, guys,
that wraps us up. So, thanks for joining us. Watch Sinister, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.
Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.